Why your beliefs about money are keeping you broke. Win the first hour formula. I am going to prove to you in the next 30 seconds that you have a belief running silently in your brain right now that is actively preventing you from building wealth, and you have no idea it exists. Ready? Tell me honestly, when you picture a genuinely wealthy version of yourself, does it feel real, or does some part of you quietly whisper that it is for other people, that you are not quite the type? That whisper, that is not humility. That is not caution. That is a money script installed before you were 7 years old, and it has been making your financial decisions ever since. Here is the number that should make you furious. Behavioral economists estimate that subconscious money beliefs account for up to 70% of the financial outcome gap between people of identical income, identical education, and identical opportunity. 70%. Not the market, not bad luck, not circumstances, your beliefs. Wealth does not find people who doubt their right to receive it. And in the next couple of minutes, I'm going to show you exactly how to begin rewriting that belief, starting with the first 60 minutes of tomorrow morning. Let's get started.
Ghost Capital Yield, helping you make wise decisions with finances.
Get started. Section 1. The belief running your bank account. There is a specific villain operating inside your financial life right now, and it is not inflation, not your income, not the economy. It is something that was installed in your mind before you had any say in the matter. In the next 3 minutes, I'm going to name it precisely, then show you exactly what it costs, and plant the seed of the one behavioral practice that defeats it permanently, for good. The villain is called your money script. Financial psychologist Brad Klontz at Creighton University spent 15 years studying the money beliefs of over 10,000 Americans across every income bracket. His finding: 94% of people carry at least one significantly limiting money belief that directly undermines their wealth-building behavior. Not most people. 94%. These scripts sound like, rich people are greedy, money causes problems, I am just not good with money, wealth is for people with advantages I did not have. You probably do not say these things out loud, but if any of them were in your environment growing up, they are running as background code. And background code makes foreground decisions. Here is exactly what that costs. Klontz's research found that individuals with high money avoidance scripts, beliefs that money is dangerous or that they do not deserve it, had average net worth 78% lower than individuals with neutral money beliefs at the same income level. Same income, 78% less wealth. From a belief installed in childhood, I need you to sit with that number. Not intellectually, physically, 78%. If your peer at work earns the same salary and has twice your net worth, it is probably not because they're smarter, luckier, or more disciplined. It is probably because their childhood money script does not have an automatic veto over their financial decisions. In about 3 minutes, I am going to show you the specific morning practice that begins dismantling that script at the neurological level, not through positive thinking, not through affirmations, but through a time behavioral intervention that exploits the single most vulnerable window in your brain's daily cycle. Stay with me. Every financial decision you make while your money script runs unchallenged is a decision being partially made by a 7-year-old version of you who had no financial knowledge and no ability to evaluate the beliefs being installed. That 7-year-old has been co-signing your investment choices, your spending patterns, and your wealth ceiling for your entire adult life. And they will continue to until you use the tool I am about to give you. The first hour, your brain's most exploitable window. Here is the hero of today's story, and it costs you nothing, requires zero equipment, and is available to you starting tomorrow at the exact moment your alarm goes off. In the next few minutes, I am going to show you the neuroscience behind why the first 60 minutes of your morning is worth more to your financial future than any investment vehicle you will ever find. When you wake up, your brain is transitioning from theta wave sleep state, deeply suggestible, highly creative, directly connected to the subconscious, into the beta wave state of full waking consciousness. During that transition window, your brain's critical filter, the part that evaluates and rejects new information, is operating at its lowest resistance of the entire day. Neuroscientists at the University of California found that information absorbed in the first 30 minutes after waking is encoded at 2.8 times the retention rate of information absorbed mid-afternoon. 2.8 times. The same content, the same effort, almost 3 times the neurological impact just from the timing. Here is what 93% of smartphone users do with the most neurologically valuable window of their day. According to a 2023 IDC research study, they pick up their phone within 3 minutes of waking. They expose their brain at its most open, most impressionable, most programmable state to other people's emergencies, other people's highlight reels, other people's definitions of what matters. Before they have made a single intentional choice about who they are today, their brain has already been colonized by someone else's agenda. Win the first hour of your morning and you statistically win the majority of your day. The mind is most programmable before the world gets its hands on it. In about 2 minutes, I'm going to give you the exact 3-step first hour protocol, the specific sequence of actions that takes 20 minutes total and begins rewriting your protocol. Money script at the neurological level before 7 a.m. or whenever you wake up. I am also going to tell you the one thing you must never do in the first 30 minutes that most people do automatically. Stay with me now. Every morning, you hand your most neurologically receptive window to social media, news, and notifications. You are paying for someone else's attention economy with the most valuable cognitive real estate you will ever own. At 2.8 times the encoding rate, 30 minutes of morning phone scrolling installs anxiety, comparison, and scarcity thinking at nearly 3 times the neurological depth of the same content consumed later. You are not just wasting time. You are actively programming your money script in the wrong direction before breakfast. The 3-step first hour protocol, here is the exact protocol. 3 steps, 20 minutes, 0 cost. And I am going to give you the specific neuroscience behind why each step does what it does. Because understanding the mechanism is what makes you actually do it when the alarm goes off and every cell in your body wants to reach for the phone. Step 1. Move your body for 5 minutes before you touch any screen. Not a workout. 5 minutes. A walk to the kitchen, 10 push-ups, basic stretching, anything that activates your cardiovascular system. Harvard Medical School's research on exercise and cognitive function found that even 5 minutes of physical movement increases prefrontal cortex activation by 43%. The prefrontal cortex is the part of your brain responsible for long-term decision-making, the exact faculty you need to override the money script and make financially aligned choices. 43% more prefrontal activation from 5 minutes of movement before the day has asked anything of you. Do not design a morning workout. Commit to one specific 5-minute physical action tomorrow. Walk to the end of your street and back. Do 10 push-ups and 20 jumping jacks. It does not matter what. It matters that it happens before the phone. Step 2. 5 minutes of intentional silence. No podcast, no music, no content of any kind. Eyes open or closed, it does not matter. Just silence. A 2015 study published in the journal Brain Structure and Function found that 2 minutes of silence per day measurably increased hippocampal neurogenesis, the growth of new brain cells in the memory and learning center. 5 minutes of morning silence is not wasted time. It is neural construction. More importantly, silence in the morning is where your genuine financial priorities surface before the noise of the day buries them. The investment you meant to make, the script you meant to write, the AI tool you meant to learn. These intentions live in the silence. They get crowded out by the stimulation. Step 3. State one specific financial or creative intention before you consume anything. Not a to-do list. One sentence. Today I am opening my investment account. Today I am writing the hook for my first video. Today I am spending 20 minutes with Claude researching index funds. A study by Peter Gollwitzer at New York University found that people who formed implementation intentions specific if-then plans, stating exactly when and where they would take, an action completed their stated goals at a 2 to 3 times higher rate than people who simply set the goal without specifying the implementation. 2 to 3 times higher completion rate from one sentence of specificity, written before the day begins. Here is why these 3 steps specifically rewrite the money script rather than just improving productivity. Every morning you move before you scroll, sit in silence before you consume, and state your intention before you react. You send your subconscious mind a message that overrides the installed script. The The message says, I am someone who prioritizes my financial future. I am someone whose first hour belongs to my goals. I am someone wealth flows toward. That message, delivered at 2.8 times the normal encoding rate, in the most neurologically open window of the day, compounded across 365 mornings, does not produce a minor adjustment to your money script. It rewrites it. 3 steps, 20 minutes. At 2.8 times the encoding rate of mid-afternoon input, 20 minutes of this morning protocol delivers the neurological equivalent of 56 minutes of financial identity reprogramming. Every morning you skip it, you are declining 56 minutes of free subconscious wealth programming. Decline not because you do not have time, because you did not know the window existed. Now you do. Section 4. The identity that closes the gap. 1 week from now, if you run this protocol every morning, nothing dramatic will have changed externally. Your bank account will look roughly the same. Your channel will be in roughly the same place. Your AI skills will have advanced modestly, but something internal will have shifted, and that internal shift is the only thing that has ever preceded every external financial transformation in documented history. You will have collected 7 consecutive days of evidence that you are someone who shows up for their financial future before the world asks anything of you. 7 data points. Not a transformed identity yet, but the beginning of one. Here is what 7 data points become over time. At 30 days, you have built what Charles Duhigg's research on habit formation calls a neurological groove. The behavior requires significantly less willpower to initiate because the brain has begun automating it. At 90 days, the University College London study by Philippa Lally found that the average habit requires 66 days to become automatic. By day 90, the morning protocol is no longer a decision you make. It is something your brain does. At 365 days, you have delivered the morning protocol message to your subconscious mind 365 times at 2.8 times normal encoding strength. The money script that took years to install has received the equivalent of 1,022 days of counter-programming. 1,022 days of neurological wealth identity reinforcement. From 20 minutes per morning, across 1 year, I am not who I was yesterday. I am the disciplined decision I made this morning. This is not an affirmation you say to feel better. It is a neurological fact stated in the language of identity that becomes more literally true every single morning the protocol runs. You are not the inherited money script. You are not the 7-year-old's financial beliefs running as background code. You are the decision you make at 6 a.m. when the phone is face down and the silence is intentional and the intention is written, and the first hour belongs to the person you are building. That person does not doubt their right to receive wealth. That person is the one wealth flows toward. Here is what this comes down to. Tomorrow morning, your alarm goes off. You have approximately 90 seconds before the habitual reach for the phone. In those 90 seconds, one decision determines whether the most neurologically valuable window of your day gets used to program the wealthy identity you are building or reinforce the money script you inherited. 5 minutes of movement, 5 minutes of silence, 1 financial intention, 20 minutes, 2.8 times the encoding rate, 1,022 days of compound reprogramming available to you starting tomorrow. Every morning the phone wins. That 90-second window is a morning the money script wins. At 2.8 times the encoding rate, a phone-first morning does not just waste the opportunity. It actively reinforces the exact beliefs you are trying to dismantle. The gap between the wealth you want and the wealth you have is not primarily financial. It is neurological, and you now have the protocol that closes it. The decision is tomorrow morning, 90 seconds. You already know what to do. See you in week 2. One action tonight. Put your phone across the room from your bed. Not on silent. Across the room. So that tomorrow morning, the first decision you make is physical movement toward it, not a reflexive grab. That physical distance is the environmental design that makes the 90-second window yours instead of the algorithms. Drop in the comments. Week 1 protocol starts tomorrow. The Ghost Capital Yield community is reprogramming its money script this week, one morning at a time. Subscribe because week 2 builds directly on this and you will not want the gap. Week 2 is just around the corner. I'll see you there.